Kunaal, great to have you on the stage, and also a CGU alumni and previously a graduate student council president. So I've known Kunaal for some time, and yeah, so great to have you here. So, okay. All right. Great. Okay. All right. Well, Kunaal is a performance management consultant over at Cedars-Sinai, I believe, right, at the hospital. And he's actually a current PhD student, so he decided to, he got his master's, I think, in public health and policy. So now he's continuing his academic journey. So it's exciting to have you part of this discussion. And yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say. And also got recently married this past year too. So a lot of changes. And his wife is, she's somewhere here. Oh, she's right here. So yeah, so great. Congratulations to you on that front. So great.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Steve. It's a privilege to be back in my alma mater. It's so nice to be back. I want to start with a little bit about how I got here to this stage, actually. So I was born in 1992. That was supposed to be a joke. But yeah, I was born 1992 in India. And at the age of 6, I got locked out of my house. And I remember being outside of the house alone at age 6, looking inside and thinking, wow, those are my toys there. And we play here and my mom takes care of me. But I'm standing here alone outside of my house. Who am I? And who are these people? And how did I get here? And I remember very distinctly thinking, wow, these are like really important questions, you know? And I learned that at age 6, I don't think I should be thinking like this, but I was glad I was. And then by age 8, my dad had a huge transformation. You know, he was going the wrong way in life, but then he found a teacher, a guru. And the guru started talking about self-awakening to global peace. And we were in a small town, and we said, self-awakening to global peace. Globe is so big, and the self is so small. How does this even work? And then he taught us about how this works. And he taught us about how similar we are and that we share a lot more similarities than differences. And fast forward, I won't go through my whole life with you guys, I promise, but I got to graduate school and I found Drucker School of Management through its social responsible principles. And once I got here, you know, if anyone's taking the MBA courses, I actually got my MBA here. We learn about Drucker philosophy for maybe the first semester, but then you get busy with your other courses. So I got busy, but then at my second year, I went to Drucker Day, and I heard loud voice from this small lady, Dr. Lippman Bloomman, speaking about peace. And I would go, wow, peace at a business school? And that's where this is how I'm here. And I went up to her after that day and I said, I want to be involved. I want to help you achieve your mission. Because our mission is simple. We need to speak about peace at all educational levels, including the graduate school. We need to have a required course on peace so we can create leaders for the next generation who make decisions from the lens of peace. Simple as that. There's no complication there. And I wanted to be all part of it, all about it. So we can actually, I'll use some of my slides actually. So if you can go to the next. So, you know, I wanted to share that, and that's actually how I met my wife, because we created a peace petition and she was one of the first ones, and I was like, wow, I found my peace, this is easy. But no, but I knew I shouldn't stop there, you know, peace, there's a lot of work to do. But to me, peace is an innate state. You know, I believe that peace is something that is of our essence. We came from peace. That's our source. And I feel that we have to return to peace and live in peace while we are on this earth. And these are my beliefs, you know, and I feel that we have to strive for that And collectively, if we strive for that, we can have a peaceful society, peaceful community, and a peaceful world. So next slide, please. But the question is about how do we create peace in such a diverse world? Now, I know it is a diverse world, but there's another piece to the question, interconnectedness. And the interconnectedness piece is what I want to focus on first. So the world right now, we're at like 8 billion people as of 2020. We're going to get about to 10 billion by 2050. And then that's a lot of people. So there's a lot of differences. But our biological science says, if you look at our DNA, we are same at the 99.9% level. Even biology is saying we are so much more similar than we are different. And then if we look at our shared lived experiences, how we live our life, it's usually, we are born, and then we educate ourselves, we learn, and we form relationships, we get married, and then we start questioning what is the meaning of life, and then eventually we get old, and then we find the end of life, And this is the general trend. But there's this concept of what is the meaning of life that we finally get to eventually. And I am very fortunate and I'm very lucky to be sitting here because that's essentially what we're talking about. What is the meaning of life and how can we achieve that? And because once we get to that we're getting closer and closer to peace because it's so shared, so much shared between all of us. So next slide, please. I believe I have to, when I was developing these slides, I'm like, how much into the research should I go? And something told me, talk about what you know about peace, and only that. So I have to speak on what I've been taught. Peace has to start at the individual level, but how do we get there? Now, these conferences, this is actually our 4th conference, because when I was the GSC president, we had a conference before the pandemic, if some of you guys remember. So, these conferences are great, but the work has to be done at the daily level and at the individual level. These are amazing because this is a catalyst. It gets us to think in this manner. But when we're alone, what can we do there? And that is where it all starts. That's the introspection. And that's where meditation comes in. That's where introspection comes in. That's where you start thinking about what is the meaning of life comes in. And that's when you get to that, then you can start having a peaceful dialogue because you'll find others who start thinking like that. Then you start building a community. Then you start building a community and you can start creating actions towards it. So these are the types of things that I've learned over my life. But eventually, you have to come together and act on what peace is and how to build on peace. And that's where you have to start engaging in acts of kindness and in community. But my teacher taught me this type of dialogue, this type of communion is a blessed one, because if you think about it, how many times do we get to think about peace or be amongst others who want to learn about peace in today's age? Not very much. But the irony is, this is what we need to be talking about and nothing else, because all I hear is we are at the brink of destruction. All I hear is of weapons of mass destruction like it's some toy. All I hear is about differences rather than connectedness. And this is the topic we need to be speaking about. So I'm very happy to be here. One more minute. Okay, great. So if you can get to the next slide, I'll make it quick. But then the concept of global peace comes in, and that's where leadership comes in, because that's when we start looking at our diverse nature. We are diverse. There are so many countries, so many cultures, so many people, and we need a connected leader who understands that. As some of the other panelists said, we have to really go to the grassroots of learning about each other and respecting each other to get to that. And then, I have a few other points where we also need policies where it talks about peacemaking, peace building, and peacekeeping. We need business models that look at peace as a source of monetization. We spend a lot of money on defense. How come we don't spend money on peace building? You know, Professor Lippman Blumen has stated that fact many times, and it really has struck with me. And then technology. How can we use our evolving technologies, artificial intelligence, social media? How can we use that for promoting peace? And those are the types of things I think we need to be thinking about, and I'm very happy to be part of this. Thank you.